Welcome to Stories Worth Hearing. I'm your host, John Quick. Today's guest is Jason Cooper, a man whose story is now reaching even more people through the documentary Adversity, the Jason Cooper story. Jason's life changed in an instant after a serious car accident left him paralyzed. The doctors told him he would never walk again. But what followed became a story of determination, faith, discipline, and refusing to let adversity have the final word. Today, Jason is not only walking, he is training others, inspiring people through his testimony, and sharing what he learned during one of the hardest chapters of his life. This conversation is about resilience, purpose, and what happens when someone refuses to quit. Jason Cooper, welcome to Stories Worth Hearing.
Thank you.
Well, take me back to the accident. I think one of the most fascinating things I've just learned of your story, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, and it's probably one of the most inspirational stories I've ever read or seen in the last while. But take me back to the accident. What happened? Tell the viewers what exactly happened, and then we'll talk a little bit about what you're up to today.
Okay, so basically, my name is Jason Cooper. I'm a C3, C4 incomplete quadriplegic. For those who don't know what quadriplegic mean I was paralyzed in my arms and my legs. All four limbs was completely paralyzed. So the only thing that I was able to move was my eyes at the time of my wreck. I was a 17-year-old. I'm from Laura, Mississippi. I was just a normal day. I wake up at 5 a.m. and work out every morning. I've been doing that since I was 4 years old. So I got up that morning, worked out early that morning, took a shower, got ready to go to school. Normal day at school. Had walkthroughs because it was Thursday, and our team heard about, and our coach was telling us about the week after we was gonna play a rival team, but they was playing on a Thursday, and we were just gonna go see them and just see exactly what type of style they play and stuff like that. It was Taylorsville. So once we got out of football practice, me and my friend KV, he said he was gonna ride with me to be able to get to the game because he didn't have a ride to the game. So as we left football practice and we went to my aunt's house, which wasn't too far, probably about like 10, 15 minutes away from the school. Once we got to my grandma's house, we got freshened up, dressed up and stuff to be able to meet our team back at the store where everybody meet at because I wasn't gonna drive. I was gonna ride with my coach and some other players and stuff. So then again, we left there. We went to another one of my friend's house, Donovan, to pick up him and my friend Quindarius. But they didn't go because they was gonna ride with some more people or whatever. So we didn't pick them up and we was headed to the game and as we crossed the intersection, real known Highway 11, from over in a community called Beaver Meadow. And we came over from Highway 16, we was headed back towards Heidelberg. And as we was headed back towards Hollerberg, it just started raining out of nowhere. As we were on the top of the hill, and it was raining very, very hard. Like it was in Mississippi, it rained hard in different spots. Like it doesn't rain over the entire Mississippi. So yeah, we got a lot of rain to be able to come down. So as I got to the top of the hill, I was already riding brakes as I was going down the hill because there was so much rainfall and stuff like that. So I mean, I could like see it, like everything that was in front of me was kind of foggy, but I could be able to see because I had my defrost on my windshield so I could see. But as we was going down the hill and I was riding brakes and I just hit a unlevelness of like the road, and that was my first time hitting like on level of the road or whatever. So as I hit that unlevel of the road, it was probably a pothole, probably about 3 or 4 feet, 3 or 4 feet, like right there in front of me, and I didn't see it. So once my truck, the right side of my truck tire hit that pothole or whatever, it snatched the wheel away from me, and as I came out of that pothole, I snatched the wheel back, and I'm already riding brakes at this point. That shook me so bad to where I just stumped on brakes. And once I stumped on brakes, and somebody told me, a lot of people have told me that when it rains there, oil comes up on the surface of the road because the oil trucks went there years ago. And I'm not the only person that has wrecked right there in that area. It has been people that have died there. Um, so then again, once I lost control of the vehicle, once I stepped on brakes, and I can see the back of my truck fishtailing like on the side of me. And I mean, probably like 3 seconds after that, I just seen the tree in front of me, and I blacked out, and I had my wreck, and I woke up in ICU.
Yeah. Tell me what it was like when you first woke up and they told you you're paralyzed. Take me back to that moment. What was it like? What did you feel? Could you speak at that time? Tell me what it was like when you're hearing from a doctor saying you're paralyzed.
I can speak. The first thing I said was, well, I'm ready to go to my football game. Cause it was that Friday, my first breast cancer game. I was real pumped up about that. My senior year, I worked my entire life up until that point to where I was getting ready to go to college for my senior year. Um, yeah, like I said, I woke up and I was just ready to go. I had my coaches and my mom. My mom was right here, my dad was on the other side of me, and my coaches was just around the room. And they was just shaking their head. They was like, well, he's awake and stuff like that. And my mom was speechless. My dad was, I'd probably say if anybody had to be the most devastated, it was my dad. Cause my dad know how hard I worked my entire life. My whole family does, but my dad, I yeah, my dad invested a lot into me as well as my mom did too. But yeah, just seeing my dad face and stuff like that, I knew I was messed up, but I didn't know I was messed up that bad. And I'm thinking like, I had the boots on for my blood pressure or whatever. I'm like, man, I probably broke my leg or something. Cause I remember I had a wreck, but I didn't know what happened in the wreck. And yeah, I had blacked out once they got to the hospital and stuff, like I said, my mom, my dad or whatever. And the doctor came in and he was like, well, can I speak to the parents of Jason? And he had already talked to my mom and my dad before I went in. He had already told them. That's why they was already devastated because they knew what was about to come. I just didn't know. And it was a different doctor that came up in there, Dr. Clouderbuck to be exact. And he came in there and he was like, well, we did our analysis on you or whatever. And we looked at you and yeah, you messed up pretty bad. I was like, man, I was telling him, I was like, no, I'm not messed up. I probably got like a broken leg or something. I didn't have no cast on. I just had a neck brace in. That you gotta be actually insane to tell a neurosurgeon that he's crazy. So then again, yeah, like I was just steady denying it because he never told me. He was like, well, there's no good way that I can break this to you, but you can't move. And I was like, I can't move. What are you talking about? And I didn't try to move nothing then. And I was like, man, I can move. Like, bro, like I'm good. Sir, thank you for thank you for taking care of me and seeing about me and stuff. And I'm like, okay. He was like, okay. But I'm telling you, like, you can't move right now. And I'm like, right now? I'm like, okay, you probably got me doped up on meds. So you just said right now. He was like, no, let me just explain to you. He's like, son, you're paralyzed. And I was like, what? And when he told me that, I couldn't move nothing but my eyes. I tried so hard to move my arms, and it was like my body was basically dead. And I'm like, well, like all I can do is just look down at my arms. Like you know how they say it? You have sleep paralysis or something
Yeah.
like that. Like basically where you're alive but you can't really move. That's how my body was. Like I'm like, I know I can function, but it's like I can't move. So it's like I was stuck. But it didn't really hit me once I left. I mean, once I was there in ICU. Like, once I got out of ICU and I was in a regular bed and stuff, because I had my family and friends and people from different states that I played basketball and football with and stuff to come see me and stuff. When I got away from family and I got transferred from Forest General Hospital to Methodist Rehab in Jackson, where I was the youngest person. I was a 17-year-old. Everybody there was 40 and plus. So I'm seeing all this for the first time. People with halos, stroke patients, people with half of their skull gone. Like I'm seeing all these disabilities and stuff like that for the first time. And being a 17-year-old and like I said, you can be playing basketball, playing football, and just living your life and be at the top of your career and stuff like that. to the point to where like I felt like, okay, why am I here? Like I was playing football on a Thursday, and then the next day it's just okay, this how it is. Life can change really, really quick, like unexpectedly, because I was expected to go to a game, but it didn't happen that way. But yeah, it didn't hit me until I got to rehab, so I seen all the older people and patients and stuff like that. And yeah, basically that's how it hit me. It hit me once I left there and went to rehab October the 18th and went where the older people were and stuff like that. It just felt like I didn't belong there just because I'm the youngest, but also I have no friends. So I mean, yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about going from, you know, being paralyzed, legs and arms, to, basically walking and working out and doing all the things that you probably normally used to do. That's a huge accomplishment. It's almost some would say a miracle, right? Going from being paralyzed to being able to walk and work out. Talk to me a little bit about the space in between those two bookends. How the heck did you do it? Was it a mental thing? Was it a mental and miracle thing? I'm sure you had to be in rehabilitation like multiple times a day. Talk to me a little bit
Yep.
about that process.
First of all, it wasn't me, it was God, first of all. I became very spiritual and very religious when I got to the point to where I had a time within my wreck to where I actually met God. So I as a athlete and stuff, you know of God, but I didn't know about him. So I met my match to where one day, October the 19th, my first day of having therapy there at Methodist Rehab. I didn't have therapy. I didn't eat anything. I didn't have any doctors. I just wanted to be left alone in my room. I told them to move my mom from my room to another room. That's when depression hit me for at least 2 hours that day. And cause like I said, being 17 and all these emotions and all your dreams and aspirations and stuff, all that's just wandering through your head. And I'm given one of the most critical traumatic injuries that anybody can have on earth. Like there's not like if you break an arm or break a leg and you'll be back in 6 months or 3 months. Like there's no time to say. It's just within God's really hands. October the 18th, I had some time with myself. I'm sitting in a dark room, curtains closed. I'm just sitting there, man, just everything wandering through my head. And then I just had this thing where, as people say, where I'm pretty sure you've seen a commercial where like the devil is on one side and God is on the other side, but God wasn't in my ear. So the devil was talking to me and stuff, and he was like, "Man, you're not gonna make it. Or this is it. You work for nothing. Like you're not gonna come out of this. Like you're not. You're just not. Like just believe me. God is not real. Like this is just you." At that time, I was he was very convincing, very persuasive to the point to where like I wasn't about to jump over to his side, but I'm saying like, with my mentality from before my wreck being hardworking. Now, I just turned 24. What's today? The 6th? Today the 6th, right? Yeah, I just turned 24 2 years. 2 days ago. So my birthday was March the
Happy
4th.
birthday.
Thank you. So, like I said, I've been working out. Yes, 2 days ago made 20 years I've been into fitness. So, that's a big accomplishment for a 24-year-old. So that's all of my life that I've been into. So all the discipline and all the being ruthless and relentless mentality and stuff, I've been had that since I was a kid. So I was been able to walk. But yeah, like I said, like something like my mentality, my own understanding of mentality. Someone was telling me just wait, just hold on, don't really give in to what he's saying, because there may be a way out of it when, people tell you that it's not. And I waited for probably about five minutes. Then the room is closed, the door is closed, the curtains are closed. That whole entire day was very cloudy. And the curtains opened on my left side of my room. And God, that was when God came to me and the sun was shining dead, like in my face, like not on my body, just in my face. And I was like, actually, I couldn't cover my hand because I couldn't move my hands and my legs. But I was like just flinching my eyes and stuff to where I couldn't see. But it was God telling me like this, like you have a purpose and like this injury. So like you have to. What I'm going to give you the tools for it. You just have to trust within me, like that. That good will come out of it. So ever since October 2019, that's when I really became more of surrendering. Like last year in 2025, that was my year of surrender. Where I just give like, and I had two rigs. I had another rig, but it wasn't bad though. It was just a little fender bender basically. But yeah, if I say it's been going on for a long time so far as like my mentality and stuff. But like I said, I've trusted God my whole entire process and my whole entire journey. So I'm not gonna stop doing that. I still pray every day that I get up and stuff. I'm just glad to just be me. I'm better than what I was. If I'm being honest with you, if I could, I'd go back and do my Rick again today. Cause I know how good like God done been to me, how much he's built me now to where like even today I went to the gym and just came from New York a week ago and I wasn't lifting no weights. Like I lift probably like one time I was in New York out of like 7 days. And I came back and the first day I went because my PR is 4. So I went into the gym and I put 3 plates on there, and people just you ought to see the reactions of people looking at my body and the way it's sculpted to the where like, bro, like everybody says it's a ACL injury or but I don't have a brace on or like my ankle or something like that, and then when I tell them I'm a spinal cord injury, it'd be so wild and stuff. And my mom was telling me she was like, you really haven't woke up to the fact that like you're very, very rare. Like what you're doing has never been done before within the amount of time that you've been here back from your wreck or whatever. And I was like, I didn't believe it at first. And then like we seen a specialist from Flowood and my neurosurgeon was the best neurosurgeon in the state. And they was telling me like, like if you watching my trailer, it was like, man, like you have something a lot of people don't have. Like it's never been done before. So basically I don't have a limit. So even like I said, even today I squatted 365 like 20 times. I did 2 reps, 10. And people in the gym was just looking at me like no belt, no knee wraps, no nothing. Just me just squatting. And people like, I just don't understand like how like what like I have men like grown older men and dudes being jealous of me because my body is like so sculpted. Like I just got an athletic body. I've been like that for years. But like I said, mentally, it's a mental thing. With spinal cord, with any disability, it's mental. I think a lot, and I say that because of some effect is COVID is around the time that I really started building my mentality way stronger. So a lot of people see the physical side of a spinal cord injury, it's just there, it's nothing moving. But mentally, like, okay, I'm gonna put it like this. So I was a C3, I was a C3, C4, and my injury is at the top of my neck. So it's one of the most critical injuries on earth for a spinal cord injury or whatever. So what I did was I took my work ethic and I took the physical therapy and the medical side and put it together with my mentality, and I created different workouts that put me through pain and that like still have that relentless, ruthless drive. And what I do is the way I started moving my body is through stretching. And a lot of people don't think of that. A lot of people don't know that, but I started stretching. And the way that I started stretching is just regular stretches, arm in, arm out, leg in, leg out. I had my cousin. This was when I wasn't moving anything at all. I had my little cousin, Hayden. He was stretching me. And what I do was, and I close my eyes and I would visualize myself pushing my leg in and out, even though I couldn't. But I was just a visualization of me just moving my leg in and out. And I was training my mind that my body was making my body move. Just repetition, repetition, repetition. And I wasn't moving for probably about 2 weeks. Then my cousin, and we had a camera on the side. I had my little cousin, he was telling, like, bro, you moving your legs. And I was like, really? Because I had my eyes closed. And he was like, yes, like look back at the film and we looking at it and I was actually like moving my leg, just a little movement at that time. And it was too stretching because I haven't pushed my leg into me and I try to push my leg out. So once I seen that little movement, it encouraged me. It's just a mind thing, it's mental, but I have to send those signals from my brain down to my body. So the way that I would do that was I'm a visualize it first, then I'm just gonna put my body through prayer. So then again, I've become so mentally strong and so stable mentally, so to the point to where my neurologist and the specialist told me that my mind is at least a decade ahead of my body.
Nice.
So they told me that I've worked myself out of injury phase. It's just my body recovering and trying to catch up with my mind. So a lot of people think that I'm very strong. Matter of fact, I'm too strong for my body. Cause my therapy, I got kicked out of therapy 4 times. I got kicked out of therapy 4 times because I did therapy. I worked out at home and I worked out at the gym. I put myself back in the gym. The therapist was like, well, there's nothing more that we can do for you. Everything they give me, I make them print it out what I struggle with. And I go home and practice it for countless hours. And like I said, that's the same way I did in football and basketball. If I have trouble doing something, and I think a lot of people, they don't really take accountability for what they're doing wrong or their wrongs, and they don't want to fix it because they don't want to be they don't want to learn from it. Me, I love learning. I'm excited about learning. So as much as I want to learn about myself and about my body, it's hard. It's hard to beat me because I work out still 2 to 3 times a day with my injury. It's mental. I think a lot of men within this world, they have the tools to be able to be successful, but they don't have the mental strategy to be able to get there.
Yeah.
And I got both. So I got strength, power. Like my neurologist, the specialist, he was even telling me like when he walked in the room and he was telling my mom, he was like, where's your son, Jason? He thought I was a brother, but I don't have a brother. I have 2 sisters. And he came in the room, he was like, where's your son? Where's Jason? And now walking forearm crutches, and my forearm crutches on the back of the chair. And as I was getting ready to talk, I said, "I'm right here." He was like, "No, I'm looking for your brother." And my mom was like, "He doesn't have a brother." And she was like, "Well, where is Jason?" He was expecting me to be in a power chair. That's what they all were expecting. He's checked my info and everything, and I told him my birthday, social security, and stuff like that. He was like, "Bro, it really is you." Like, I was expecting you to be way worse, way worse, way worse. So now that I'm being opened up to this new world of people with disabilities and actually looking from myself to other C3 and C4 spinal cord injuries, is unbelievable. Cause it's like I basically feel like a superhero for people that have disabilities.
Yeah. So
So
there's a documentary coming out, Adversity, on your life. I watched the trailer of it. I'll put the trailer link in the podcast description. Tell me a
mhm.
little bit about that documentary and how it came to be. It's pretty exciting, and when maybe we could expect that it'll be out for people to watch.
It should be out this spring. So we're waiting on Tubi and then some more networks are interested in it. A lot of people. I just had a couple of my friends last night. I was like, "Bro, can we see the full documentary? Because I have it." And they was like, "I was like, bro, I cannot show it to you. I cannot show it to you." They was like, "Bro, come on, bro. Like, tell me about it." But adversity and like I said, I'm the type of person. My word means everything. That's what my dad taught me. So if I give you my word that I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Adversity came about just through a thought in my head. I was like, my mom, she gave me something very powerful that I looked at and wanted to change the world at it. I'm the type of person. I'm like a ninja turtle. I don't like the spotlight. I like to person, but I've been like that all my life. Work hard, don't say too much, keep my head down, and just not really just get too bougie. I treat everybody with respect and how I want to be treated. My mom told me, she was like, "Well, this happened to you, whatever." You see a lot of people that have spinal cord injuries. They're very shy. They don't want to talk. I've been on that type of side of the world to where people that have disabilities, they feel like they're not human, and that what causes a lot of them to be depressed and angry and stuff like that. And my mom was like, "You have a story. Now go out and tell it." And that moved me in a way to where she was like, and I told her, I said, Mom, I don't have the tools. And she was telling me, you got the tools. You still have your arms and your legs, not missing any limbs. You have a mind, and you need to think with your mind first. And that pushed me to be able to not only do content for the people that have disabilities and non-disabilities, but I also have a son too. I have a 1-year-old. So to be able to be my son's hero and show him that everything that man tells you that's impossible is possible. It just takes somebody delusional enough to complete it. And I'm that one to be delusional enough to achieve the impossible. So if I can be a role model for my son and be his superhero to show him that your dad can defy all odds, you can too. So there's no limits. I don't limit myself to what I can do now and stuff. I don't. I'm the type of person, I don't say I can't. I just say I'm not ready. And to say that, you have to be bold enough to be able to have the mentality to be able to complete something when you don't even know about it. So I like to study myself, evaluate myself, and correct myself when I'm wrong and hold myself accountable for all my wrongs to be able to be a better person. And I always be better than a lot of people mentally, physically, and emotionally because I take time with myself. I pray a lot, and I like cleaning up my problems to be able to just do bigger stuff and everything. But the biggest thing that I have for this year, my quote is that you don't have losses, they're lessons. And I don't have losses. Everything that's within the loss is a lesson. That's if you want to find it. A lot of people lose and they don't want to find what is wrong and how they lost. And they just try to move on through life, but you still got to go over that hump. So I'm very strategic as a 24-year-old. I know how to get around problems and figure out ways of life. Cause I mean, when I was in high school and elementary and middle school, I worked out for sports mainly, but I worked out for life. Like for stuff like this to happen to a person, a young person at that, life haven't started yet, and continue to be able to get up and work out at 5 a.m. and, with do the daily life. Like I just got done riding my 4-wheeler a while ago. I still ride 4-wheeler, horses, hunt, fish, all these other things. I'm no different than you. So if I can put my mind there to be able to do what you do every day, I'm unstoppable.
That's awesome. Well, folks, I'll put the link to the documentary trailer in the podcast description. Jason, your story is so inspirational, going from paralyzed, can't move your arms and legs, to what you are today is pretty inspirational. I think that you're probably inspiring more people than you realize. Folks, go check out the trailer, and when it comes out, we'll be the first in that front row, Jason, watching your documentary. 30 minutes here has gone by in a flash. Jason, you got any last minute thoughts here before we head off?
Not really. Just stay tuned for the full documentary or watch the trailer to be updated on everything. So I appreciate you for having me here today.
Awesome. Well, Jason, we wish you nothing but success. You're a true inspiration, and you're welcome back anytime. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you.